The 2026 Queen Mother Champion Chase is what we're going to preview tonight. As promised, it is Thursday. So first of all, what type of horse do we need to win a champion chase? Age-wise, you're looking for a 7, 8 or 9-year-old. We've had a 5-year-old win it by Masterminded. We've had a couple of 10-year-olds, Special Tiara and Sprinter Sacra. For the stats to be broken, it's generally a freakish animal or freakish kind of conditions, which can break the stats. But in general, to keep yourself safe, a 7, 8 or 9-year-old is what you want to be looking for. Last year's winner is Marine Nationale, who is currently the 7-2, 4-1 favourite. And look, he deserves to be at the front of the market. He should be thereabouts. But these videos are all about digging out some Ante Post value. The same goes for Sergino. If he's over some of his issues, he'll be thereabouts, and I'd say he's even a good bit superior to Marine Nationale on ability, but they have a history of issues now about both horses, so we will drift down through the market. Majborough will have to prove to me that he can jump, and I don't know, I'm a bit more comfortable with him going right-handed. He was, even if he hadn't have made that mistake, I think he would have been picked up by Django Boy in that article, So he's possibly not for me. Ilay Tomps, the rumour is that he'll go for the Ryanair, and that probably will suit him a little bit better. He's not in love with Cheltenham. Cheltenham doesn't really suit him that well, but he did run on very, very well in that. Was it an article he ran in? He ran on very well at the end, and I think if you had a very, very strongly run champion chase, he'd certainly be in the frame and get some place money. But logically looking at it, he's probably gonna fall short. John Bon, as talented as he is, he's a fabulous horse. But we just know he's not the same at Cheltenham. He's not the same animal. So, although that is a big, big price, but I think he'll be 10 come the 1st of January. So, that's factored into the price there. Factophile will go for the Ryanair, surely to God, and he should pick up that race. Champ Kiley is not quick enough to win a champion chase. Dino Blue is probably getting on a little bit now, isn't she? She really needs good ground, doesn't she, as well? Dino Blue. Let's have a quick look at her. She's not. She's only 8. Wow, that is a surprise. My God, that is a shock. Yeah, like if you got over 2 miles, if the ground was a little bit testing, she'd be thereabouts, wouldn't she? She stays 2.5. She's a decent record at Cheltenham. It's just, again, I think we're looking for place money there. But she's a big old price, in fairness. Quilixios nearly won the race last year, and he was just caught coming over the last by Marine Nationale. He could run a decent race in it again. He's not getting any younger. He's had his injuries. He was a highly tried juvenile. He won the Triumph Hurdle. At some point, all of this is going to catch up with him. Busy juveniles don't tend to have a long career. So, but he's a big old price, and all that stuff is factored into that price. Khalif de Burley is People are, laughing at him, slagging him off, and laughing at Paul Nichols and whatever. But one thing's for sure, if he's there on the day and if he has a reasonable season and if it's very nice ground on the day, which it's getting few and far between nice ground at the Cheltenham Festival these days, but if it happens to turn up that way, that's a massive price for him. He really did run impressively at Aintree that day, and he could well be overlooked. He really could. That's a big price, and he's one to watch. I know he was disappointed in the last day, but there's a lot needs to happen between now and March, and don't forget that performance in the spring last year, or this year. Only by night, that could be a crazy price there. That is definitely value. 25s, 33s in a place. 7-year-old mare, Gavin Cromwell, was about to win the Arkle until she was mugged on the line by Django Boy. So I'll revert back to what I say. These novice races are run at 100 miles an hour, which tends to favour stayers in the end, whereas the actual open grade ones are far more tactical affairs, and it may suit her a lot better. And she may be suited to a champion chase run at a sort of a tactical kind of pace. She may be, very, very underestimated here, and that is a big, big price for Only by Night. Django Boy, who I tipped for the Arkle last year, and he duly obliged. I want him to run in the Gold Cup, as you'll know from the Gold Cup video. So I don't expect him to turn up here. The champion chase, his stamina won't play into his strengths like it did in the Arkle so much, So I wouldn't expect him to hit the frame in the Arkle, but I want him to go for the Gold Cup so bad. Spillane Tower is a stayer. In the pocket, a horse I'm going to need to just have a quick look at. Not clued up on him so much. In the pocket, so was fourth in the Supreme behind Marine National. Has been a bit in and out over fences. Yeah, I mean, he's very lightly raced. He's obviously had a bit of a niggle here and there. He's been off 345 days, 308 days, so I wouldn't fill you with the greatest amount of confidence. He may be a handicap plot job, maybe for the Grand Annual at the festival, but for a champion chase, no, he's not for me. Impere Pass, I think he may be underestimated in this race, whereas a lot of people want him to go for the Ryanair, whereas a really strong run champion chase. Let me see now. He's still young enough, isn't he? He's beaten Gaelic Warrior over 2.5. He's actually gone 3 miles. He's won over 2.5 at Aintree. He's just one of these other ones that really, really ferocious 2 miles in a champion chase at Cheltenham would really suit him. And if he got that sort of tempo, I think he's a huge price. It's just with Willie Bingo, you just don't know what's going to happen, do you? Lotus Sud, he kind of disappointed me in the Arkle. He was there coming over the second last in front, and I think even nearly over the last, and he just emptied, didn't he? So I was a little bit disappointed with him. I think in the long run, I think he's going to be a handicapper. I really do. I'm not sure he's going to be a grade 1 2-mile chaser. I think he's going to fall a little bit short. Ile Francais, I can't have him or her. I don't know whether it's I think it's a him, yeah. I can't have him at Cheltenham at all. Gaelic Warrior would have a great chance. But looking at his price, obviously Willie's going to do something different. He's probably going for the Ryanair or maybe even a little tilt at the Gold Cup. You know, that's a completely fake price, but it's probably because he's not going to run. Ballyburn has just disappointed over fences incredibly. And I think the Stayers Hurdle is what I've heard is going to happen with him. Firefox. Firefox is is a really exuberant jumper of a fence, and I really hope he gets a chance to show what he can do because he's a very talented horse. And that price is disrespectful to him, I think. He really needs nice ground, and if he gets it, he may shock a few. That's a big price for him, but I understand why the price is that big. I understand. El Fabiolo is getting too old, as is Energumene. The Jukebox Man is a stayer. Solness, anything away from Leopardstown, Solness is just a handicapper. At Leopardstown, he's a Grade 1 winner, so I can't have him at Cheltenham at all. Now we're getting into the crux of it. Gidley Park. Come here to me and let me tell you about Gidley Park. This horse is a big strapping frame of a horse, and I've been watching him for years and years. And people, the only thing that worries me is he's by walk in the park, and I don't like walk in the park as a sire. His progeny tend to be, you know, the next big thing, and then none of them seem to train on. They've all issues. They've peculiar kind of gallopers and whatever, and they just disappoint. Now, Gidley Park hopefully will be the exception because he's a big, strapping, massive horse. And I think if you got him 2 miles at Cheltenham in a champion chase with his right terms, his right kind of conditions, I think, yeah, like I think he was at Aintree that day against Impere Pass, who's another dark horse, I think, for the champion chase. Held and switched right and stayed on. I think a really, I'm repeating myself here now, a really strong run champion chase will suit Gidley Park, and I think he's a massive dark horse in this market. And I like him. I do like him. The horse excites me. I think he jumps well. I think he's a powerful traveller. He's won at Cheltenham before, and he's won over 2.5. And at Cheltenham, whatever you're going for, you need to be able to win over that extra half mile. And I just think he's a really strong stayer at 2 miles. I think he's very much a dark horse for the champion chase, Gidley Park. So we'll see how his season progresses. But he could be a massive price, 50-1. Hillsdale, I don't know much about this fella at all. Let's have a look at him. I really don't know anything about him at all. He's beaten Conyers Hill at Fairyhouse. He's gone 3 miles at Navan. He was in. He's not winning a champion chase, is he? Not on your Nelly. Brookie, I think, is going to be a very good handicapper. And he could run well in a champion chase given his right terms and conditions, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't be for me. Ile and Atlantique. He's a bit of an enigma, Ile Atlantique, isn't he? He kind of excites you and then disappoints you. Time and time again, you know. So he'll be 8. What's he done at Cheltenham? He's just a frustrating horse. I suppose his best run nearly would be his defeat of Firefox. 2 miles soft ground. Is that what he wants? 2 miles soft ground. He was absolutely beaten out the door by Knight at Nice the other day. But look, that's a seasonal return. I'll never ever judge a horse on their seasonal return. He's shown glimpses that he could be very competitive given his terms and conditions, but he's just such a frustrating horse. So I don't really know what to think of him. Jazzy Matty, not winning the champion chase, is he? Found a 50. Could be. Oh my God, Ireland have scored. Sorry now. Ireland go 1-0 up against Portugal. Have that, Ronaldo. Troy Parrott. Have some of that. Sorry about that. Just got sidetracked there. Yeah, found a 50. A really strong run 2 miles would really suit him, but I'm kind of thinking, is it going to be more like a Grand Annual, or he was very disappointing at Down Royal the other day, but yeah, he's just kind of, he doesn't have the stamina for 3 miles, and he just lacks a turn of foot for 2 miles. So I don't know. He's frustrating as well. Liberty Hunter's getting old and probably not good enough. Although he ran a blinder in the race last season. Edward Stone's getting too old. Captain Guinness too old, and there you go. So look, the one I'll pull out as a value bet at this point is Gidley Park. He excites me. These big strapping frame of horses, they all have a day where they fill into their frame, and suddenly they do huge things compared to their form, you know. So I think this could be his season, and at the prices, he would be my Ante Post pick if I was to go for one. But just to scroll down, who else did I sort of pick out? Khalif de Berle might surprise a few. Only by Night is a big price. But that would be my selection. So that's it. That's the Queen Mother Champion Chase 2026 Ante Post. I will do a video on Friday night for selections at Cheltenham on Saturday for the Paddy Power Gold Cup Day. Okay.